So before we start with HTML, I elaborated what HTML is. It is nothing but hyper text markup language. Okay. So before we get started with what exactly HTML is, I would like to bring in a few things which are really important from every beginner's perspective, or even someone who has experience of around 1 year, 1.5 year, etc. So see, every application. When let's begin with application. You guys know what is an application? Because obviously HTML is something which you will be going to use in the application when you develop the application. Okay, so we will start with the application. This is something which is really very important. As I spoke, it is going to be it is going to give you vital information about how exactly the application is developed, the layers of the application, and in which layer of the application you see HTML being used. Application is different and software is different. No, it's not a software. That's what I had a word here being used called software. It is because if you weave application and software, both are different, both are not same. Okay, so I have some answers in the chat box here saying that it is a software which is used to perform a task. So application is not a software, but the other half of that sentence is absolutely right, which is used to perform a task. Okay, so we would not even say that application is something which just performs the task. Okay, so in general, let us weave what exactly is an application and what exactly a software is. Okay, so I'll just narrate these things in general. So application is something which serves the user. This is, to be honest, to be very general, this application is something which serves the user. Now I'm the user. I can make use of a lot of applications which are already in the market. Okay, so Instagram, WhatsApp, all these are social networking applications. Okay, then again, I would not try to dig into more about applications. If we weave it from platform perspective, applications can have different platforms. Like Windows is a platform. You have Android, that is a different platform. You have iOS, that is a different platform. So all these are platforms for the applications, and each and every platform would be different. It will not be the same. Okay, we will take that concept in our upcoming classes. Like my first intention of conducting this class is to take you guys deep and have the basic understanding about how exactly HTML is utilized in an application. What is the role of HTML when you develop an application? That's why I'm going from very basic, that is the application. Now, since I have the explanation in general for application, can anyone come up with a sentence for software which is very close to what I have written in the application section? It's just one word which differentiates application and the software. One word before I actually bring up on the screen on my own. I would like to utilize this opportunity for you guys to computer, absolutely right, but from technology perspective, we would narrate it as a system. Okay, system is something like okay, exactly, Puneet, something which serves the system. Absolutely correct. See, this is the difference between the application and the software. I hope it is clear for everyone now from understanding perspective that what exactly is an application and what exactly is a software. Application is something which serves the user. User is like a different what do we say? Something which is not like close to system. Okay, user can be end user, user can be a human. Okay, so that is nothing but user. System can be your laptops, your mobiles, etc., etc. All those are, on the considered to be as systems. Now, application, as we discussed, we have some examples. Like some of the examples what we took here are WhatsApp, then we have ATM, then we have Facebook, etc., etc. So there are a lot of, applications. Okay. So anyways, I have an answer for software which would help everyone understand and differentiate between the application and the software. It is your antivirus. System drivers, yeah, that again is a software. Adobe Illustrator, not so sure how that serves the system. Adobe can be, used by the user also, in case if you want to adopt edit something. So yeah, so currently what usually very frequently what we see in the systems is a software called antivirus software. You have, n number of softwares. Kaspersky, you have Avast, and then you have McAfee. All these are serving the systems. How are they serving? They are protecting the systems, with different malwares and, viruses that attack, that come from the internet. When you try and access the internet connection, there will be a lot of, security threats, okay, to your system. So this antivirus software ensures that your system is protected from those type of threats. And see, we have nothing to do with the software, so don't worry, don't scratch your heads thinking about, where exactly HTML is used in a software. You'll never develop a software as a developer. When you're application developer, you'll just be focusing on the application. Okay, usually when we talk about, IT, and when there are projects, there are, usually IT will be categorized into two types, like, service based and the product based. Product based is something where a company has its own product and they'll be working on it. Product refers to this application. And service based, let's say, service based, I'll give you one example. See, Amazon is a product based company, whereas Accenture is a service based company. Now, Amazon is running out of resources and they need some support. Okay, they are not they are they are lacking resources, and Amazon needs some support in terms of, developing a few more features for, what do we say, like the application, the product. They will consult Accenture, where more resources will be found, and they'll start working with, Accenture, just to, consume the resources in order to expand their product. Okay, so that is the major difference. Okay, so then again, whether you work for a service based company or a product based company, you will be working on the application. Okay, so this software, it will never come under, the development stuff. Especially, considering the technologies what we have, we focus majorly on developing the applications. Software, it will be a different domain. Like, I'm not fully aware of what, technologies are going to be used in order to have a software, but I'm pretty sure that, application is something where you use a core language. Where it can be a core Java, it can be Python, it can be .NET, or you can actually prefer C++. All these are the core languages. Then to enhance your product, you'll go for advanced technologies based on what you have chosen as the core language. Let's say you have chosen core Java as the core language for your application. Then you will think to expand it. What you will do, you will consider the advanced technology. If I talk from Java background, see, I'm a Java developer, full stack Java. Okay, Java, advanced Java, frameworks, then the web technologies, which is nothing but HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So if we talk about Java, the next advanced technology is J2EE. Then the very next advanced technology you would prefer having from Java background is the frameworks, which is nothing but Spring and Hibernate. Okay, so like this, if I tell you everything in the first day, obviously you'll start hating me. I don't want you to do that. We will go step by step, no problem. Okay. Any queries, anything, you can feel free to reach out to me. No problem. I'll help you out. And at the end of the session, I would also want you guys to know one thing that we will be discussing at the end of the session. Anyways, I hope everyone is clear till here, right? No responses? Yeah, thanks, Vikash. And I assume everyone is clear till here. So don't get messed up, don't try to narrate these things with whatever you find in the internet. See, the intention is to keep it simple and you understand it. So the intention, the main intention and the agenda is to understand this. Okay, so just that's why I have something like one sentence which would help you understand application in a better way. Application is something which serves the user. Now if we talk about this Paytm would be giving a lot of features for the user, like for recharging purpose, you want to book that movie tickets, you want to make online payments, you can use this Paytm. But if I tell the system my laptop use this Paytm, it will not use it because it's like it is of no use for the system. And if I tell the user you use antivirus, how would the user get benefited with this antivirus software which is actually built for the system? So that is the major difference. Okay, Oracle is a software that will help you actually when an application is there and when this application has some data to be stored, we would have to allow this application to interact with the database. Then in that case we will be using Oracle. Okay, anyways, I don't want, as I said, I would like to keep it very simple since this is the first day of your first day of HTML session. I would like to keep it very simple. Then the moment you start understanding these things, we can elaborate certain things more, and I'll ensure that you get good knowledge and you make best out of what I teach. I'd like to revisit this application yet again because I have a very interesting concept here. See, I don't want to rush into it. See, most of you might assume this is a HTML session, why these things are being brought up. As I said earlier, application has a vital role in understanding HTML. So that's why, regardless of whether I'm teaching HTML or if I teach you some other thing, I would always, as a trainer, I would like to start with the very basics so that, it helps you understand everything, easily. Without this, if I start HTML is hypertext markup language, and if I question you tomorrow what is HTML, you would just say HTML is hypertext markup language, sir. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so we have to understand the significance of HTML and where exactly it is used in the application development. Okay, so HTML application. Now I am taking this concept again to discuss a couple of things. Now we know what is application. It is something which serves the user. Now we have some types of applications. Can anyone tell me what are the types or how many types of applications are known to us? Absolutely, web application, exactly. See, generally the application, no matter if it is a desktop application or a mobile application, generally the applications are categorized into two types. Okay, so the first type is, okay, I'll not use desktop. Instead, I would use a word called as standalone application. Okay, and the second one is, as Pratik said, it is called as web application. sorry, to meet. Okay. So two types of applications are known to us. One is a standalone application and the other one is a web application. So now you must be wondering, most of you know what is a web application. Now you must be wondering what is a standalone application. So standalone application, before I give some examples, I would like to, just add one line here. So it is something which restricts the usage to that particular system. Okay, I'll maximize this. Um, I'll come back to the chats in a while. And then again, web application. It is just the opposite of that, which does not restrict the usage to the particular system. Okay. So in order to explain this to you guys, which restricts the usage to a particular system. So you guys know that you guys are aware of the examples for the application. WhatsApp is an application, Paytm is an application, Facebook is an application, Calculator is an application, Eclipse is an application. So I by looking at this, I'm sure that this is a these examples are part of standalone applications as well as applications. Now, out of this, what all applications are part of web application and what applications are part of standalone application? Don't consider this software. We have nothing to do with this anymore if we talk about HTML. So now I want to know like which application is a web application here and which application is a standalone application. I'm sure there are applications which are standalone as well as web applications in the examples what we have on screen now. See here, calculator. Now, if I tell you I have a calculator in my system, okay, I'm talking about the calculator that is available in the system. Don't think about going to Google Chrome, googling calculator, and then talking about that. That is a different calculator, and this is a different calculator. Now let me open the calculator which is available in the system. Okay, so see, this is the calculator. Okay, so this is the calculator which is available in my system. Now if I tell any one of you access my calculator from my system, how do you do it? There's no way that anyone is accessing the calculator which is limited to be used in my system. So this is nothing but a standalone application. You have calculator here, then you have a few more applications like this Microsoft Office. Until and unless you install this in your systems, you will not be able to access it. Or okay, and then you have Paint, and then other standalone applications like to keep it simple, this Notepad. You can take Notepad, the Paint, and then the calculator. Okay, so I'll have it here. So now see, the usage of an application is restricted to this particular system. Now as I said, this calculator's usage is limited to my system only. Whatever calculations I do here, 65 into 2, the output what I see 130. Now if I tell some of you, I'll go offline now, and you log in with your own systems from where you are actually operating, access this value. You'll not be able to access the value, right? So I have this calculator installed in my system, and the usage is limited to this particular system. So that is nothing but a standalone application. And let me tell you one more thing. It does not need any storage. There will be a temporary storage, but it will be using something called as cache. CACHE. Okay, I'll just spell it out here. Here. Okay. So cache. So this is like a temporary memory which will be there in your browsers usually, and something called as cookies. Cookies will also be there. Don't think that cookies refer to browser has its own cookies. Okay, which is nothing but a temporary storage. This is like temporary storage. Okay, so we will talk about all these things in our upcoming classes. Usually you will learn this cache, cookies and all that in your what is it, JDBC, sorry, servlets. Okay, so you don't have to worry about this temporary storages as of now. So we'll just focus on the standalone application. So this calculator is a standalone application, and then you have, what is it, notepad, and then paint, etc. Okay, so all these are your standalone applications. Now moving forward, we have a web application. Now it's quite easier for you guys. I assume that it's quite easier for you guys to understand what is a web application, which does not restrict the usage to that particular system. We will take this Facebook. Okay, copy, I'll paste it here. Now I tell you, I tell any one of you, I'll log into my Facebook account, I'll post a picture. I would want, some of you to weave the post as it is an important one from wherever you are operating. I would tell you, please, just take a look at the post which I have posted in my Facebook profile. Then what? You guys will be accessing the Facebook via internet. See, this web applications are something which can be accessed with the help of the internet connection. But if I tell you access this calculator which is installed in my system, even when you have internet connected, you would not be able to access it, right? So that is the difference between the standalone application and the web application. Usage is not restricted here in case of web application, whereas standalone application restricts the usage to that particular system. Notepad, Paint, calculator. Unless I share this with you by zipping this, let's say this notepad, I have some files stored in my computer like this file. Okay, whatever I am writing is a notepad file. Unless I share this with you via mail or drive something, etc., you'll not be able to access this document. So this document will be limited to my system. So until I give you the privilege of accessing it, you will not be able to access. That's why these applications are treated as standalone applications. Whereas the applications which can be accessed with with the help of internet connection, that those applications refer to the web application. Okay, so in that case, Facebook, when it was introduced, it was not limited to a particular user. Okay, if I am accessing Facebook in my system, doesn't mean that I am the only person in the world who could access Facebook. Okay, regardless of whether it is installed in my system or not, I can take help of the browser in order to access Facebook, as I said. But if I tell you take help of the browser and access the calculator which is installed in my system, that's not going to happen, never. Okay, so that's the difference between standalone application, and you have, other applications like, WhatsApp is available for your mobiles, and you can use and desktops also. Eclipse. So we will talk about Eclipse. Meanwhile, I'll just show you how Eclipse looks like. Okay, I had it here somewhere. Yeah, here. There you go. So this is something which is used in the industries, and this is nothing but IDE, and this is a standalone application.